Hari Om. Welcome to this Ola Samskrita Sahitya class, Rasaswada class. We are reading Shakuntalam, and last Sunday we completed the first act after a long time. Okay? So before I start, of course, the invocation. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So Dushyanta and Shakuntala both feel that they are loving each other, and first act got over, and there is a very significant verse in the mouth of Dushyanta. He says, Manda autsukyosmi nagara gamanam prati. Now after here, he will have to go back to his nagara, right? But he doesn't want to go back nagaram prati. Yavad anuyatrikan sametya nati dure tapovanasya niveshayeyam. So nati dure, not very far from this ashrama, I would like to encamp with all my followers, anuyatrika. Na khalu shaknomi shakuntala vyaparat atmanam nivartayitum. I cannot take away my mind from Shakuntala Vyapara, from the thoughts regarding Shakuntala. And then there is a very beautiful verse, Gacchati Puraha Shariram. Just a recap, okay? Gacchati Puraha Shariram, my body goes front, Gacchati, okay, walks front. Dhavati Paschad Asamstutam Chetaha, but my mind, Dhavati, it runs back. So Gacchati and Dhavati, stark contrast. My body has to move forward, but my mind runs back to Shakuntala. Chinau shukamiva ketoho prativatam niyamanasya. This flag, the flag post is being carried forward, but because of the wind, the flag flutters behind. Okay. Chinau shukamiva ketoho prativatam niyamanasya. So you take the flag post like this, but the wind is blowing this word, and therefore the flag cloth flutters behind with all its speed. The more you go forward, it flashes behind. So that is what is happening to Dushyanta. And niyamanasya, he doesn't have any control over his own body. His body is like kashtavat. It is being dragged. It is being pulled, like the flag post. So that's what his flag post, and his manaha is like ketu, which flutters behind. It is still behind in the ashrama, though he is being carried away, he is being dragged away. Somehow with great effort he is carrying his body ahead, but his mind lingers behind. Okay, so that's a very beautiful verse, and the commentators come up with so many things, like prativatam niyamanasya. So niyamanasya is like dandavat, kashtavat, etc. Vata sammukham niyamanasya dvajasya China deshastham vastram chinaunshukam. That also throws light that chinaunshuka, the silk cloth from China, was very famous during Kalidasa's time also, and I think we discussed last time the silk route and all, how the trades were going on. And this anshuka is a very thin cloth, very fine, very, very fine cloth, and therefore the more fine it is, if it is thick one, it won't flutter that much, right? If it is thin one, like very tarala, then it will flutter. So manaha is tarala, chanchalyat. So anena chanchalyam dhvanitam manasaha. So all these are commentaries by Raghava Bhatta, and iti nishkrantaha sarve, and then there is anka samapti. Now what is anka? For that Dasharupaka and other things, the commentators have quoted. ekaha charitaihi charitaikaartham इत्थम आसन्न नायकम पात्रैहि त्रिचतुरैहि अंकम तेषाम अंतेस्य निर्गमः. So ekahanam. So in a day's tenure, the anka has to get over. It can have Nayaka, the hero, as the main character, he has to be there, and other 3-4 characters, 3 chaturaihi, patraihi, okay, ankam, and then when they all go, that becomes the end of the anka. Anka is also connected with artha, and it is stated that ankante, this is ankante nibaddhavyah iti atra anka samaptihi, and then it is ankaha nana prakarartha samvidhana rasashrayah. Anka is nana prakara artha samvidhana and rasa ashraya. So various types of meanings. So anka is literally connected with artha. So there has to be some artha, some goal, some objective, and the movements and the enterprises of all the characters towards achieving that goal. So that is also anka in some other text. Okay. So ankaha, prathamaha ankaha, nishkrantaha sarve. So that was where we ended last Sunday. Now let us start the second act today. Athadvitiyo ankaha tatah pravishati vishanno vidushakaha. Vidushaka has not made an entry in the first act at all. So it is only in the second act, and that too Vidushaka makes an entry. He is all dejected. Vishannaha Vidushakaha. Now who is Vidushaka? There are Vidushaka Lakshanam to Sudhakare, a text called Sudhakara. Vikritanga vacho veshaihi hasyakari Vidushakaha. Vikrita anga vacha veshaihi. Hasyakari. He generates laughter. Hasyakari. But just because he generates laughter, can we call him a clown or a jester, which we normally find in circus and all that? It's not like that, okay? It's little different. And but he creates laughter. He is hasya rasa janaka, hasyakari, and hasya is generated by vikrita vesha, vikrita anga, and vikrita vacha, 3 things. So his anga, the way he will stand, the way he will walk, like anga bhanga vikalam kritva, like that. So he will bend unnecessarily somewhere. He will act as if he has a hunch on his back. That is the vikrita anga. Then vikrita vesha. So he is Brahmana by birth. Normally Vidushaka, why normally? Vidushaka is by birth a Brahmana, but his Vesha would be like something which generates laughter, which creates laughter. So he will have a Veshti, he will have a dhoti, but on top he will, weirdly dressed. So in that weirdly dressed, those who perform Sanskrit dramas, I have seen quite a few of them in Mumbai, in Rangabhavan, and Daji Bhatodekar used to play Vidushaka long back. Thereafter, our Ramesh Kher sir, he used to play the Vidushaka. The way they stand, the way they talk, it's all, every character, every actor will bring in some nuances to dress up in a weird manner. And vachobhihi, the third is vachobhihi. The way he will talk is not just, like a very refined, enriched Sanskrit speech. In fact, Vidushaka will never speak Sanskrit. Vidushaka speaks Prakrit. Okay? Vidushaka, the etymology could be Visheshena Dushayati Sarvan Anyan iti Vidushakaha. One who would blame, criticize, accuse all other characters. He is always in a complaining mode, okay? He will have complaints about every other character. Only thing when he is very happy is when he is fed with apupa, modaka. He has a sweet tongue. He is a glutton. So you talk of food material and apupa and the ladduka and modaka, he is very happy. You give him nice things to drink, he is very happy. And he is very fond of sleeping for 8-9 hours, So ahara, pana and nidra, these are very, very priya to Vidushaka. If these three things are taken care of, then he is a very good friend. By the way, Vidushaka is a Narma Sachiva or Narma Surud of a king. King has so many Sachivas, okay? Sachiva, Amatya, Mantrigana, so many of them. But he is a Narma Sachiva. He helps him, supports him, and guides him in his Narma matter, his love affairs. So that is what is, he is Karyantara Sachiva or Narma Sachiva or Narma Suruda. So this is about the Vidushaka, and he speaks in Prakrit, okay. Though Brahmana, he is not very learned. All Brahmanas are not learned, okay. So he is Brahmana by birth but not by training, and therefore he speaks Prakrit, okay. Now, Vishannaha Vidushakaha. So what makes him so dejected? He is dejected, Vishannaha Vidushakaha. What makes him dejected? There is a soliloquy. He alone is on the stage. Tata Pravishati, the act opens with his entry, and he is very dejected, very disappointed. He is not at all happy. So all these things the character has to gesticulate, has to enact through his entry, through his body movements, the way he stands, the histrionics, the facial movements. It all depends upon the character, how ably he can communicate that he is very, very unhappy over certain matters. And what are those matters? Let us read the soliloquy. Nishvasya, deep, heaving deep sigh, sighing, he says, Bho, Dishtam. Dishtam, sometimes it is Drishtam because the Prakrit word is Dittham. Bho Dittham. And now Dittham could be Drishtam or Dishtam. And this Dishta is like Adrishta. This is destiny. In fact, Dishta and Drishta, they have phonetic similarity with destiny, the English word destiny, okay. Bodhittham, what a fate I have, okay, what a misfortune. It's not a good fate he is talking about, all the misfortunes he is talking about. Kai majha nashibat hai, okay, what is, mere naseeb mein kya kya hai, like this, bodhittham. Some people say, it is instead of Didham, it is Didham, and therefore Didham would be the Sanskrit Dridham. But Dridham doesn't fit here. He is, kos raha hai apne naseeb ko, and therefore Dittham is Dishtam, that is destiny or naseeb. That is the, Pathabhedas we take into consideration and select the proper one, okay. So, Bho Dittham, this Dittham, the Drishtam could be contrasted with Adrishtam, and Adrishta means that which is not seen, that is destiny. Adrishtam, that is destiny. So, can you say that it is a non-visible destiny, Adrishtam, and vis-a-vis it is Drishtam, which is visible destiny. This also comparison is made by R.D. Karmarkar, okay. This comparison is made by Karmarkar ji. So, otherwise, the other things are unpredictable. They are destined to happen, but we don't know them of. Here, Vidushaka has experienced a few things, and therefore possibly he said, Drishtam, whatever I have experienced, this is my destiny, but I have experienced this and what it is, okay. So there are multiple meanings, Drishtam, Dishtam, and dridham. But dridham we discard, of course. Now, what are the things which he has experienced so far, which make him so dejected? Let's see. Etasya mrigayashilasya radnyah vayasya bhavena nirvinnaha asmi. I am dejected because I am a friend of this king who has, a passion for mrigaya, for hunting. Mrigayashilasya radnyah vayasya bhavena nirvinnaha asmi. I am really dejected by the companionship of this king who is very fond of hunting as a game. Now, why that hunting? He has been always in the company of the king, but especially when the king goes for hunting, he is very dejected and unhappy. Why so? Now the real drishta starts, what he has experienced with the king. When he is with the king on Mrigaya, on hunting expedition, ayam mrigaha, ayam varahaha, ayam shardulaha iti madhyane api grishma virala padapachhayasu vanarajishu ahindyate atavitaha atavi. Very good sentence. Ahindyate atavitaha atavi. I have been roaming around from one forest to the other forest. Okay. Doing what? The king is shouting, the people, Anuyatrika, they are shouting, oh, here is a deer. Oh, there comes a bear. And there is a tiger. Ayam shardulaha, ayam varaha. They are all for hunting. And they are all, there for the, what it is said, Vanagrahana kolahala. There is Vanagrahana kolahala happening. Ran uthautat. In Marathi we say, Ran uthautat. Hakare martat, And there are people who deliberately with drums and all and with so many hunting dogs they go, Shvagani lubdhakaha, and the dogs start barking and they start playing on the drums, and so that all the wild animals come to the center, their passage going out, outlets are blocked, and then it becomes easy for the king to hunt with his arrow. Okay, this is how normally the hunting goes, and therefore ayam shrigalaha, ayam mrigaha, ayam shardulaha. But for that, atavitaha atavi, from one forest to other forest, they have to roam around. Not that every forest there will be, the animals, the prey will be in front of you or in the area of your arrow, right? And therefore, ahindyate atavitaha atavi. Atavi is, basically it is derived from root atta. Atta is to wander. But Atavi is hardly a place of wandering. It is, Upavana, where you can stroll and you can roam around. Atavi is, if it is too dense a forest, it is not a place for wandering, but it is derived from the root wander. Okay, Atavi. In Kannada, we have Adavi or Adu, from the same word Atavi. Ahindyate, hinder is the root again, to wander, to roam. This is very rarely used in Sanskrit, but in Marathi we have hindane, hindu firu lagla, hindane is a typical verb in Marathi at least. So vanarajishu, in vanarajishu, in the raji is avali, pankti. So many forests, one after the other, one after the other. Vanarajishu ahindyate atavitaha atavim. Shouting, ayam mrigaha, ayam shrigalaha, ayam shardulaha. Madhyane api. Oh, madhyana is the time to sleep. Have a nap after modaka bhojana, right? But madhyane api, they are, like chasing the animals. And madhyana, one thing is, it is madhyana. Okay. Another on top of it, it is Grishma Ritu, Virala Padapachhayasu. So there is not a Chaya also, no Shitala Chaya, Prachaya Shitalasu, Saptaparana Vedikasu, etc. No Prachaya Shitala Chaya. Because it is Grishma, the leaves of the trees are also falling, they are all ripened and they are falling down, and therefore the Chaya is also not so dense, it is Virala. So Grishma Virala Padapachayasu. Padapanam Chaya, that is Padapachaya, and Grishmena, because of Grishma Rutuna, Padapanam Chaya Virala Bhavati, Teshu, Tasu Virala Padapachayasu, Vanarajishu Ahindyate Atavitaha Atavim. So Madhyana hai, there is no Nidra, there is Nidra Nasha. On top of it, he has to go from one forest to other forest, and that too seated on a horseback or in a chariot. Both are equally painful, especially when you are going in the uneven terrain of the Vanaraji. Okay, that will come across next. Then, Patra Sankara Kashayani Kadushnani Giri Nadi Jalani Piyante. So that is the Vihara. Okay, Vihara, if it has to do with Vihara, Hindana, Ahindana, that is Atavitaha Atavim. Then what is the Pana? Drink. Giri Nadi Jalani Piyante. The wild streams of water, flowing water, Janglatle Zhare, Parvatatle Zhare. So Giri Nadi Jalani Piyante. That is okay, Giri Nadi Jalani. But for that, there are two Visheshanas given here. One is Kadushnani, Kat Ushnani, Kinchit Ushnani, little warm, because of Grishma. That is one. Another thing, because it is Giri Nadi Jala, the stream coming out from the mountains, it falls from one boulder or rock or the stones to other, and therefore that friction also causes little warmth in that. In Meghaduta you have this reference. I won't quote it now. When we read Meghaduta, we'll see. So Kadushnani. Some people have adopted the Pathabheda Katukani. Katukani, little pungent. Kadvat, Kadsar Zarasa. Why little pungent, like bitterish taste? Because of Patra Sankara Kashayani. Because so many wild trees' leaves have fallen in that stream of water, and therefore it has become Kashaya. It has become Kashayani. So Patra Sankara Kashayani Kadushnani Girinadi Jalani Piyante. So this is the Kashaya. Patranam Sankaraha Bhinna Jatiyanam Ekatra Patanam Tena Kashayani Ataeva Katukani, and therefore Katuka. That is one reading. Or instead of Katuka, you can just simply say Kadushna, little warm, because of Grishma. Because of Grishma, the word Grishma has occurred in the previous sentence, and therefore that also you can take. Okay. So Kadushnani or Katukani Nadi Jalani Piyante. So Vihara is over. Now this is the Pana for, he is used to have Panaka, the sweet Sharbat and all that, and here his fate has brought him with the king. The companionship of the king has made him suffer like anything, and he has to drink that warm water mixed with so many leaves fallen in the stream of the water. Then Khana, Ahara would come. Aniyata velam shulyamausa bhuyishtaha aharaha bhujyate. There are two things which cause unhappiness to him. One thing is the ahara is not on a fixed time. Aniyata vela. Na niyata vela. Not at a regular interval. He is used to eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner at regular intervals in the darbar when back home in the capital city. But now here in the forest, whenever it is possible, then only you will have ahara, right? Aniyata vela. And that too, not the ahara of modaka, modaka priyaha vidushaka, apupa priyaha, or madhura priyaha brahmanaha, not that. Shulya mausa bhuyishtaha aharaha. The ahara which abounds in mausa, and mausa baked on the iron rod, loha shalaka. Shulya is loha shalaka. So this is like kebabs, mausa. Now there is another question. He is a Brahmana by birth. Does he eat mausa? Does he eat flesh? Okay. So Kale has commented in his commentary in the notes behind that this gives in a way, proves in a way the antiquity of Kalidasa, during whose time perhaps the Brahmanas had not yet abstained from eating flesh, eating mausa. Okay, so that is one thing. And if you read Uttara Ramacharitam of Bhavabhuti, you have a Vishkambhaka before the fourth act there. This is a dialogue, conversation between two ashramavasi Bhatus, a senior and a junior. And they have got a holiday that day because there are so many VVIP guests visiting the ashrama. Okay, and he states there that Vasishtha, etc., the Munis have come. Rajarshi Janaka also has come along with the Rajamatas, all the three Rajamatas, Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi. And yena agatena eva jirna kurchena rishina agatena eva vatsatari madamadayita. That is the sentence. Vatsatari madamadayita. So Vatsatari is a heifer, Heifer. It's a 3-year-old female cow. कालवड म्हणतात तिला. आणि मडमडायिता, मटक मटक आवाज करत खाल्ली. So Bhavabhuti also is somewhere in 6th century. So during that time did Brahmanas eat mausa, and that was offered as madhuparka to the rishis. Madhuparka. Okay, this thing takes place in the ashrama of Valmiki, and to meet Valmiki, other rishis, Vasishtha Prabhritayaha, Jirna Kurchaha, with pake hui bal dadhi ke, like that, the rishis have come. And then somebody asks, oh, Janaka also has come, did he also eat that? Then the answer is no. The moment he heard of Sita Tyaga by Prabhu Ramachandra, he has abstained himself from eating flesh. So Rajarshi Janaka did not eat, but the other rishis ate the mausa. Now when you see the Madhuparka, I am just giving you some deliberations, no opinion, okay? I don't want to opine anything. These are various texts which talk about this Mausa Bhakshana by the Brahmanas, and it is said that Samauso Madhuparko Datavyaha. When there is a VIP guest coming, you offer Madhuparka. Madhuparka is a special offering to the guest, to the distinguished guest. And when the guest is too distinguished, highly recommended, by people, and highly revered and respected, Samauso Madhuparko Datavyaha. So this is a Vachana, Smriti Vachana. So Mausa Bhakshana was not a taboo perhaps in very olden days, and this perhaps refers to that. That is one opinion. Mausa is flesh. Another interpretation of that is, Marathi मध्ये त्याला गर म्हणतात ना, गर, like a solid portion of some bulbs. Like you do barbecue, right? You do barbecue nowadays and you have the sweet potatoes or some other kanda, konfal vagare, like that, the pinkish kanda, and that you roast in the shulya, like a barbecue, right? And that is Mausa Garishtha, because it has so much of solid mass in it. Mausa is mass, M-A-S-S. So it is Masa Bhuishta, not Mausa Bhuishta, M-A-S-S in English, okay? So it could be another meaning. Now just imagine the king is out on hunting expedition. His regular meals he will not get anywhere. When he goes out in the forest, संभावना ही नहीं है regular meals की, okay? And therefore whosoever follow him, they will have to eat whatever is available there. So whatever is available, number one, they hunt the animals and therefore the animal flesh, or if they can't hunt an animal, whatever is available, kanda moola phala. The phala can't be like, cooked with a loha shalaka. So what I take it as kanda moola, the bulbs, the bulbous roots, the bulbous roots, they could be cooked on the wildfire. काटक्या गोळा करून एक फायर करायचं आणि त्याच्यामध्ये भाजायचं. So this is possible. So there are both these meanings, whichever applies to you, whichever you feel logically is fitting, you can take it. But even if Brahmanas ate flesh, why should we have an objection? Maybe the times when Brahmanas abstained from flesh eating came quite later, and in ancient times perhaps they used to eat it. So these are the two opinions by some scholars here. So I am just placing these two different opinions in front of you. So aniyata velam is number one, and shulya mausa bhuishtam, no scope for eating ladduka and apupa and modaka for him, and therefore he is not satiated with the food which is offered to him, which he gets in the forest. Naturally, whatever you get when you go out, whatever you get, you have to be satisfied with that. So his ahara is not good, his pana is not as expected, and his vihara is also not as expected, okay? So shulya mausa bhuishtam, on the spit, that loha shalaka, you cook something, so that is the thing. But that is also not to his level of expectation. So the expectations are not met with, and therefore he is dejected. Now you know why he is dejected. Tatah pravishati vishanno Vidushaka. These are the drishta reasons which he has been experiencing while on the hunting tour with the king. Another thing, nidra, which is very, very favorite and priya of Vidushaka. What happened to that nidra? Turaga anudhavana kandita sandhehe ratravapi nikamam shaitavyam nasti. Being a Brahmana who will eat belly filled food of modaka, he is compelled to oblige to sleep during afternoon also. Here ratravapi, afternoon sleep to gaya, because madhyane api atavitaha atavi ahindyate. So madhyana is gone totally, but at least night sleep, that also he is not getting. Nikamam, the full night sleep also he is not getting. Why? Turaga anudhavana kandita sandhehe. Sandhi, all the body joints, especially the hip joint, the leg joint, the shoulder joints, etc., because he is riding on a horse. Horse riding itself is a very painful one, especially in your sakti, in your joints of the legs, it is very harmful and painful. And that is, the turaga is not just going, he is anudhavana, chasing the animal. The turagas are chasing the animals, so they are not going at tuck, 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 tuck like that, not just galloping at their own sweet gait. They are chasing the animals, and therefore moving fast on a horseback is very, very painful. And therefore all the joints are loosened, all the joints are bruised and wounded, and therefore तो कणतोय बिचारा, रात्रीसुद्धा त्याला झोप लागत नाही आहे. He is, because of that ache, that body ache, he can't even have night's sound sleep. So, turaga anudhavana, turaga turangama. Turaya gacchati asau turagaha. One who goes very speedily, fast. Tura is tvara. Tura. Sattvaram. That is tura and tvara. Tvarayati. Okay. So, turaya gacchati iti turagaha turangamaha. Similar set of words we have. Vihagaha vihangamaha. Viyati gacchati iti. And plutva or plavena gacchati iti. Plavagaha plavangamaha. See the nice pair of words, plavagaha plavangamaha, turagaha turangamaha, like vihagaha vihangamaha. So very nice words. So turaga anudhavana kandita sandhehe ratrau api nikahamam shaitavyam nasti. The sleep is also gone. No proper vihara, no proper ahara, no proper nidra, and not proper pana. All these have made him so sad. Vishannaha Vidushaka. Okay? And on top of that, this is not enough. He is going on, पाढा वाचतोय त्याच्या दुर्भाग्याचा. Okay? ततः महती एव प्रत्युषे, भल्या पहाटे, महती प्रत्युषे, very early morning. Ushas is dawn, morning. Pratyushe, even before the dawn. Mahati, much before dawn. That is the late night and the dawn on the Sandhi Kala. Okay, it's almost late night for him because he is fond of sleeping. But now Mahati Pratyushe Dasyah Putraihi Shakuni Lubdhakaihi Vanagrahana Kolahalena Pratibodhitosmi. First of all, there is no sound sleep during night. पहाटे पहाटे कुठे जरा डोळा लागतो तर हे भल्या पहाटे उठवून ठेवतात. With what? Pratibodhitaha, he is awakened by Shakuni Lubdhakaihi Vanagrahana Kolahalena. By the kolahala, the din, the hue and cry they make for ran uthvण्यासाठी, for getting into the forest. Now from morning till afternoon they are wandering atavitaha atavi, right? And therefore so early morning sometimes you don't get sleep in the midnight, you get awakened at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the midnight. Sometimes you don't fall asleep immediately, and then early morning you fall asleep. And when early morning he wants to sleep, that time he is awakened by this din, by this cry of the people, of the hunters. Lubdhaka is hunter. Shakuni Lubdhaka, Shakuni is a bird. Okay, so these are the Pakshi Vyadhaha. But here you take it in the general term of Vyadha, the hunter, not necessarily the fowler or the bird catcher. Shakuni Lubdhaka literally means one who catches birds, a fowler. Okay, but it Pakshi Vyadha, but it could be like a generic term for Vyadha. There is a very good Pathabheda for this, and I would go for that. Though Kale has adopted Shakuni Lubdhaka, there is another Pathabheda, Shvagani Lubdhaka. Shvagani Lubdhaka, and that is a very nice Pathabheda, because Shvagana is a host of a band of wild dogs, hunting dogs. And normally the hunters, they go with the hunting dogs because they bark. They start barking, the moment they smell something, sniff something, they start barking. And that would really, some 4, 5, 10 hunting dogs, wild dogs, they start barking, it will be really a kolahala, right? So kolahala is produced by whom? Not by the Vyadhats. It is produced by the hunting dogs. And therefore Shvagani Lubdhakaihi fits, and that justifies the another word, the succeeding word kolahala. So Shvagani Lubdhakaihi where is that? Swagani lubdhakaihi vanagrahana kolahalena. Swagani lubdhakaihi kritena vanagrahana kolahalena aham pratyushe mahati pratyushe pratibodhitosmi. Pratibodhitaha na pratibuddhaha. It's a nijanta, causal. See the nuances. This is a causal, so I don't wake up on my own. They make me wake up. They arouse me from my early morning sleep because of this din and cry that this is a time now to go for mrigaya. Okay? So, nidra is also not proper. So, these are the 4 things which are so very favorite, and he lives because of that. He survives on all these goodies and foodies, but everything he is deprived of, therefore vishannaha. Okay? Kolahalena pratibodhitosmi. Now another word here, dasya putrehi. This you have to note. Dasya putra is a slang word. It's a gali pradana. It's a slang word. The son of a slave. The bitch, the son of a bitch, the son of a slave, rascal, scoundrel, like that, this could be translated. Now interestingly, there is a word, like we say Vidura is a Dasi Putra, right? Dasi Putra. He is the son of a slave maiden. Now the Vigraha Vakya of that compound is Dasya Putra. But Vidura will never be called as Dasya Putra. He will be called Dasi Putra or Dasi Suta. Why? Here, this is Ninda Vyanjaka. Here, Dasya Putra comes as a slang word. Shivi dilyasarkha hai. Like Sulemaga. In Kannada, they call Sulemaga for scoundrel, right? Sulemaga. So, this is like a Gali Pradana, and therefore here you can't use Dasi Putra. Dasi Putra is a very clear term to mean the son of a slave maiden. That has no gali in that. There is no ninda in that. But the moment you say the vigraha of that, this is satashashti shashti chanadare. This is to give the anadara. This is to give your disrespect. He is disrespecting the hunters and those people who unnecessarily, untimely are awakening him, are arousing him from his dear deep sleep. And therefore, he is accusing them for that. And therefore, if he use here dasi putraihi lubdhakaihi, that won't give that meaning. So, dasya putraihi, okay? Dasya putraihi shakuni lubdhakaihi vanakola halena vanagrahana kola halena pratibodhitaha. So, dasya putra you have to note, and pratibodhitaha, the nijanta, the causal, that also you have to note here. Okay? Yata idanimapi pidana nishkramati. Oh, is my pida over by this? No ahara, no vihara, no pana, no nidra. Still the misfortune continues. Yatapi, with this much also, mama pida na nishkramati. My pain is not relieved at all. What happens? Tataha gandasyopari pindakaha samruttaha. There is adding misery to misfortune. Okay? Gandasyopari pindakaha samruttaha is an abhanaka, is a proverb. म्हण मराठीतली ही म्हण आहे संस्कृतमधली. जैसे जले पे नमक छिड़कना, ओके, जले पे नमक छिड़कना, लाइक दैट गंडस्योपरि पिंडकः संवृत्तः. गंड इज अ बॉईल, अन अल्सर, अल्सरिक थिंग, यू नो, बॉईल. कुठेतरी भाजलं, काही जखम झाली, तिथे बॉईल आलं तुम्हाला, त्याच्यावर पुटकुळी येणं, पिंडकः, अ पिंपल ऑन दॅट. सो पिंपल ऑन द बॉईल, अ पिंपल ऑन द अल्सर. So first the ulcer is itself painful. On top of that बारीकशी पुटकुळी येते, ती जास्त बारीकशी पुटकुळी जास्त त्रास देते, राईट, दुखतं फार. सो गंडस्योपरि पिंडः संवृत्तः, adding misery to misfortune, that is the proverb. It's a proverbial sentence. So only with this much my pida gets over, okay, I would have tolerated that because my dear friend king, and for my friend, I would have done that. He is my vayasya. Vayasa tulyaha iti vayasyaha. Savayaha. They are of the same age, and therefore vayasya has that connotation that they have to be of the same age. Like the Sakhis of Shakuntala, they are samavayaska. Mitra could be, you can have an elderly friend also. One who gives you counsel, mantra, that also is a mitra. One who measures you by dadati pratigrihnati guhyamakhyati pritchati bhungte bhojayate chaiva shadvidham mitra lakshanam. So mitra could be anybody. You can have a little friend also, right? My young friend, my older friend, my elderly friend. So mitra is different, but vayasya has to be of the same age, okay? So he could have tolerated all these, misfortunes for his dear friend, loving friend. But now another thing has happened on top of it. And what's that? Yaha killer, yesterday. Yaha hinaha kalaha, avagataha kalaha. That is called yaha. In Nirukta, yaha is given as hinaha kalaha, and shvaha, tomorrow. Why it is called shvaha? Ashamsitavyaha kalaha. See, Yaska gives so many good niruktis. Hinaha kalaha, that which is past, and therefore it should not be grieved. But shvaha, why it is called shva? Because it is from shamsustutav. Oh, you hope, oh, tomorrow will be a good day for me. I will do this, I will do that, and that tomorrow never comes in some people's life, right? But shvaha is ashamsitavyaha kalaha. Anyhow, yaha kila asmasu avahineshu, when I was left behind, king alone went, ahead. All other anuyatrikas were left behind because king was chasing that deer, Griva Bhanga Viramam, the verse you remember. So, asmasu avahineshu, when we were left behind, tatra bhavataha mriganusarena ashramapadaam pravishtasya tapasakanyaka shakuntala mama adhanyataya drishta avalokita darshita. Okay. What happened yesterday, so this is just a day's difference. We have it, here in Vidushaka's speech, that only yesterday, the previous day, Shakuntala was seen by the king when he came to chase that deer, and all other people were left behind, okay? And now a day has passed, and now this is the next morning he is entering with all the gloomy face, all the dejected face, and all so many grievances which he has faced, okay? And he says, on top of that, what happened? This is my physical agony, but now this my fellow friend, who has seen that Shakuntala yesterday when we were left behind, he came to the ashrama, and my misfortune, mama adhanyataya, Tapasakanya Shakuntala Darshita, he was shown, Darshita, na drishta. He was shown because somebody guided him to the ashrama, na atidure kanavasya ashramaha vartate. And therefore you don't have any obligatory work, then why don't you visit ashrama? And he was made to enter the ashrama. So in a way he was made to see Shakuntala, right? That is his good fortune, but my misfortune. Why? Because Sampratam Nagaragamanaya Manaha Kathamapi na karoti. Sampratam now, since he has come back from the ashrama yesterday, नावच घेत नाहीये शहरात परत जायचं. Nagaragamanaya Manaha Kathamapi, howsoever we try, enough of this mrigaya will go, at night they might have chatted for some time, but then he doesn't feel like going back to the city since he has seen that Tapasakanya, Shakuntala, and that too because of my misfortune. Mruganusarena ashramapadam pravishtasya Tapasakanyaka Shakuntala mama adhanyataya. Dhanya is fortunate, adhanya unfortunate. Dhanya why? Dhanasya labdha iti dhanyaha. Dhanam arhati iti dhanyaha. One who deserves dhana. Dhana in the form of anything which is a labha for him. Adhanya, there is no labha, and therefore unfortunate. So dhanya, adhanya, basically it is derived from dhana. Dhanasya labdha athava dhanam arhati iti dhanyaha. So mama adhanyataya, it is my misfortune that Shakuntala त्याच्या नजरेला पडली. आता तो जायचं नावच काढत नाही आहे. सांप्रतम नगरगमनाय मनहा ही हॅज ॲडेड इन some editions there is no मनहा, and therefore सांप्रतम नगरगमनस्य कथमपि न करोति. नगरगमनस्य कथमपि न करोति. that कथमपि some scribe has written कथामपि न करोति. Okay. So nagaragamanasya kathamapi na karoti. That sounds like, very regional language like thing. तो जायची गोष्टच काढत नाही आहे, जायचं नावच काढत नाही आहे. कथमपि न करोति. Anyhow, howsoever we try to dissuade or persuade him, he is not thinking of going back. So there are these pathabhedas. Okay. And kathamapi na karoti. Now in Kale's edition we have manaha as an addition. So his mind is not ready to go back to the city. Adyapi tasya tameva chintayataha. Adyapi tameva chintayataha tasya akshnoho prabhatam asid. Adyapi, even now only one night has passed. But that night has passed for the king without even winking. He could not sleep, thinking of Shakuntala the whole night. And when he was awake, the dawn broke. Okay, prabhatam asit, akshnoho prabhatam asit. त्याच्या डोळ्यापुढे उजाडलं. तामेव चिंतयतः. While he was thinking of her, he could not sleep at all. So while he was still awake, the dawn broke. It's a dawn break, it's a day break. Ka gatihi, what to do now? How can I help him? He doesn't think of going back. One thing is, I am bored of this Mrigaya. Secondly, now even if the Mrigaya thing is over, he would have gone back to the city. But since he has seen Shakuntala, he doesn't even feel like going back. Ka gatihi. How can I help this situation? How can I do anything which would, relieve me of my trouble and my pain? Ka gatihi. I have to accompany him wherever he goes. Yavattam kritachara parishramam pashyami. But still, he would enter the camp, wherever Vidushaka is, to go for the next day's routine. So, and before that, krita achara, whatever achara is prescribed for him, he will do all that. So, let me see him, let me greet him when he comes here, and pashyami, okay, what to do next. And krita achara, for that the commentators have given that the king has to do this and that, like, acharasya nama snanadehe, etc. But it is not just snanadi, there are so many other things he has to do. And I will see him when he comes after finishing his bath and the early morning salutations and obeisance paid to the deities and the brahmanas and whatnot. So I will see him then. And then he says, Esha बाणासन हस्ताभिः यवनीभिः वनपुष्पमाला धारिणीभिः परिवृतः इत एव आगच्छति प्रियवयस्यः. So my dear friend is coming here. Now he sees him from afar that he is coming here. Parivritah, surrounded by yavanibhihi, by yavani stris, by the yavana women. We'll see it next time. Yavana stris. How are these yavani? Banasana hastabhihi, who have bows in their hand. Banasana. Banasana and Sharasana, these are the two words. These are the words which have two meanings. One is asana, the seat of the bana or the shara, that is the quiver, the bhata, जिसमें बाण रखे जाते हैं. Okay, that is called banasana or sharasana. Bana plus asana. If you derive it from asyate, that is to throw, banaha asyante yasmat. So the arrows are thrown or released from which, that is banasana, that becomes a bow. Okay? So the arrow is released from what? From the bow. So they are holding the banasana, that is the bows. The bow of the king. Okay? They are carrying the bows of the king. Banasana hastabhihi, and they are wearing vana pushpa mala dharinibhihi. They are wearing garlands of wild flowers because they are mrigaya sahacharinyaha. They are accompanying the king for mrigaya. Okay? Ita eva agacchati bhavatu. We will stop here. This will read next Sunday again because I have to explain the word yavani. So let us close with Shanti Mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.